AutoPilot can do this. It can sit in traffic for you quite happily, even with very, very tight corners. Oh wow, very, very, very tight. Oh, fuck me, that was close. Welcome back to Tesla Driver, everybody. I hope you're doing very well. And we're continuing our UK AutoPilot road trip today with a trip here to Birmingham. And we're going to be going through the center of Birmingham, or at least I'm going to be trying to. I've never actually driven through the middle of Birmingham, so I don't quite know what to expect, but I am really excited to see. So you guys in your masses commented about doing Birmingham as a favorite. It's picked this right-hand lane, interestingly enough. I actually do want to turn right here though, I think, which is good for us. Oh, bad for timing though. Wow, that was really bad timing. Don't forget, when we're doing AutoPilot, when there's a blue symbol just here, it means that the car is in complete control of absolutely everything. And as soon as that disappears, it means that it's either turned off or I have taken back full control. Now, with these areas like this, obviously, when there's cars parked on the road here, we know that AutoPilot isn't going to go around these cars just yet. So there's no point me trying and making that kind of a dangerous setting. So I'm not going to bother. Again, here, if I did it, we would just slam on behind this BMW. Oh, when I say slam on, it means brake really hard. I understand that some people got confused, but I'll show you. There's no one behind me now. So, okay, and AutoPilot didn't want to work. And see, slam on. There you go, just like that. So it will go behind them because they are in the road, and it will just slam on or brake. Okay, let's give it a whirl, shall we? So we've turned on AutoPilot. We're actually going into a 20 zone. So I'll bring that right down to 20, and we're going under a bridge with no lines and a car coming. It's going to fail. Yeah, it was just actually going straight on there. So I thought I would take control just in case. But let's go back on here. Some people said as well, can you let it do what it wants to do a little bit more? I will do if it's safe, but as soon as it becomes any sort of danger at all, I will stop, of course, because I don't want anything to happen that shouldn't happen. Oh, fuck me, that was close. This route was actually chosen by a subscriber. I saw a comment with some areas that I should try and visit when we go through Birmingham. And some of them was this road that we're on right now, to continue up the A38, past the Gay Village, and all the way up to Aston. So we're doing that kind of route. I'm not sure who commented that, but let me know. Hopefully you'll see this video and you'll like that I've done part of the route you wanted me to do. And again, if you want to see any other specific route, do let me know in the comment section. So we're going to be following this road down here all the way down to Cannon Hill Park, which isn't too far. This whole video should be around, well, it should be around 20 minutes, but with traffic it says it's going to be 35. So we'll see how it goes from there. This is going through the main kind of older area of Birmingham, or at least it feels more of an older kind of road, and it's doing quite well actually. There's a lot going on. It is raining a little bit, but it's deciding it doesn't need to wipe. But because all the cars are actually parked in parking spaces here, whereas you'll remember in Bristol, none of them had parking spaces. They were all just on the road randomly, so the AutoPilot absolutely hated it. Whereas here, because they are parked in bays, it's not having a problem with it. So hopefully Birmingham's better for AutoPilot than Bristol, sorry. But there are a lot of 20s around here, it seems. So hopefully we'll also be able to do a little bit better because the speeds will be a lot lower. So I'm hoping that will be more preferable to us. So again, we've got a car here on the road, but it went round it because these are in bays here. Again, it is all about those lines. It is all about the lines. And now we're coming out onto a little dual carriageway. It's actually quite nice that everyone's going 20 miles an hour. Well, I say that, those guys weren't, but I mean, it's nice that everyone's going slower. So we're slightly drifting onto the right lane there, but we didn't actually go over it. And we are going, where are we going here? Like left or straight on? Oh, I think we're actually going straight on, so I think I need to be in the right lane. This is where the autonomous cars are definitely going to have to learn and kind of learn to almost fight people, because you can see from these that there is no way you're not going to be able to stop on the hexagonal boxes. Like, you just have to, otherwise you're never going to move anywhere and everyone's going to get pissed off at you. So yeah, it's a bit of an odd one. I'm not sure how autonomous vehicles are going to deal with this side of stuff. I think this is where the new kind of road layout needs to be mastered first, so that we can then kind of work it from there. Carrying on our road then. And when is autopilot? There it is. Let's put autopilot back on. This car's going left here, but we're going to be going straight ahead. So I'm just going to let it go, and then I'm letting it go on. So we've got cars cutting in across here. So the car kind of slowed down to let the Mercedes through, and then carried on by itself, which was good. And we're going to sit behind this Ford in traffic as well. One thing I have noticed as well when you're driving in the city is cars are so close up behind you. Like, everyone loves to get so behind you that you actually get to see them on here. I rarely see the cars on there because where I'm from, you don't drive that close to somebody. So it's interesting to see that actually work. I'm not sure what that does for you, whether that makes you more confident knowing that the car knows that that's behind you, but it actually just irritates me because it reminds me that there's a car right behind me. I assume this is what most of city driving is, though. I assume mostly it is people stuck in traffic like this, and yeah, how the car's going to react to it. Now, this is one thing that I always think is going to cause an issue with the Tesla, is the amount of space it does leave, especially when it's trying to accelerate. It takes quite a while for the car to accelerate. You could accelerate yourself, but then that defeats the whole point of autopilot and trying to get it to self-drive. We've got a red light here with nobody at the crossing. Not sure how that's happened, but okay. Yeah, nobody at the crossing, but we're going to stop for it. And we're still stopping. We're still stopping. And now he's going. At all times, hello. At all times, there is a hand at the bottom of the steering wheel that's on. So we've gone into this right lane, but you can see how close it is to these buses on the right-hand side and the lorries. I'm going to pull it out to the left because that's way too close for my liking. Let's try it again. These lanes are super tight, like super, super tight. And with the lorries and buses just slightly peeking over to our side, it got a little bit too close for me. But there, it got a little bit confused by the bus stop line. As you saw, the bus stop took away the white line, so it got a little bit confused by that. And here again, look, we've got a super wide bus, and I'm gonna have to dodge that because I don't think the car was, and I also don't think that that was. The bus is just carrying on, that's fine. There we go. So yeah, no lines, and the car's just gone into the middle of the road, and then it's gone all the way to the right. I didn't steer at all there. The car did all that decisions by itself. Again, if the blue light's on, the car's in control, not me. So you can see it's really relying on those lines, and when a central line goes, it just kind of goes roughly into the middle, like that. There you go, just did it again. Wow, these lines really do need a bit of updating. We're braking a little bit now, and then we're accelerating again. And we're just going to follow this flow of traffic. Luckily, there's no one behind us now. Oh, again, it's just losing the lines a little bit. We're in the middle of the lanes, and it does not know where it wants to go here. It's in the middle of the road, so that's fine, but I don't like the way it's darting across. Very, very hairy down here. Now, this is obviously different to what I'm used to back in Wiltshire and Hereford, because our roads don't have this kind of awful lineage. It's not quite as bad. But yeah, I'm gonna have to stop it doing that because I've now got cars coming up behind me, and if I do that while there's one car behind me or on my left or something, it's gonna cause an issue. So luckily we're coming into a single lane now, so I can put autopilot back on, but then this bell end is all the way out, so I'm gonna have to not go all the way, and we've had to slam on. We're continuing. Yeah, this is hard. This is really, really quite tough for autopilot to deal with. I can see why some of you guys suggested this route, but it is really tough. We've got people undertaking down the bus lane. Interesting. coming up to another load of lights here, so I'm going to see what the car wants to do and what lane it kind of decides to go in. I think most of these people are going right here, so I'm going to come out of this and go into this left lane by myself, because we're not actually going right there. We're going straight on and we're getting stopped. Now, I have set autopilot to just one car length behind, or one click behind, just so that we can get closer, obviously, to people. But like I said, it still leaves a pretty good gap, but that's a gap where a normal human might think that you're letting them out, and that's where that can get just a little bit dangerous and a little bit hairy. Having no problems down these roads that are single lined, or single lanes either. It's doing those quite nicely. We're coming up to a bus lane right now that it is diverting around, whereas the car in front isn't, but that's because he's turning left. Oh, mate, I'm meant to be turning left there. Oh no, I'm not. I'm meant to be turning left here. Perfect, I can do that. That is an insanely tight turn where I'm gonna curb the car. Oh no, we didn't curb it, we're okay. This is a very, very, very snug road for my big American car. Just sitting patiently. We're back onto one of these really tight dual carriageways, or 2-lane roads. Now the car actually says that there's a lane on the right, and I'm thinking, because this middle lane isn't a solid line, if I actually indicated now right, it should go into that lane and try and overtake everybody, which would be hilarious and very, very illegal, but it does say that it could do that, which is quite interesting. I'm hoping things start getting a little bit wider, because currently everything is very, very tight and very, very tricky just to squeeze down. And as much as some people viewing would love to see the car crash or get scratched or anything like that, I really don't want that to happen today. This traffic is insane. Like, insane. I didn't know you could have this much traffic. So we're carrying on straight here. There's cars darting left, right into every lane imaginable. Luckily, no one's trying to cut in front of us, which is good, because I don't want the car to have to deal with an extra thing as well. And I guess this car's going into the lane on the right, or it's just kind of slowly moving over to that lane. I'm not 100% sure. I'm definitely going to need to edit this video down. I'm sitting in traffic for like a few minutes at a time, so yeah, we definitely need to edit this down a little bit, otherwise it's going to be one of the longest driving videos I'll have ever done. So we're going across a junction here, and the lines actually do disappear on the right. They're still there on the left, which is good, and we're following this middle lane quite nicely. That's what I was really worried about, was the lanes kind of disappearing over those big intersections, because when they do that, that is when the car does have a real issue sometimes, and kind of, you know, can go left or right across the road quite a bit, which we obviously don't want it to do, especially when there's other cars flying around us in the city. Now, I knew this would happen. As we're getting to the end, cars are trying to cut in. Now, obviously, you have the choice whether you let them cut in or you just make it as tight as possible so that they can't. I'm going to make this nice and tight so that these people can't, because I don't agree with the whole cutting in thing at the last second. But to do that, I actually have to accelerate myself. So I have to accelerate slightly, and then the car will, like, you know, bunch up a little bit closer to the car in front. And that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. And then you just kind of brake. And now the left line has completely gone, and it seems to be following this right line, which is what I want it to do. We do want to go this way, but you can see that the left line completely disappeared there. So it was interesting that it decided to actually follow the road to the right and hook this way, and so that we can carry on down here. I'm not actually sure if this is the right lane for me to be in. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if I should have been on the left. This is actually the exact reason, if you're wondering why I don't do many city visits and stuff like that. It's because the traffic is so abysmal that to me, it just like ruins it for me. If I was doing this for anything but making this autopilot video, I'd be so annoyed being stuck in traffic and not being able to get to the place. I've watched that light go from red to green to red again, and I don't think anyone actually went through it. So that's definitely not a good sign. I think what I might do is just kind of find a way to get out of this traffic and do some maybe more out of town roads, but still at Birmingham, because like this, autopilot can do this. It can sit in traffic for you quite happily. Now this is as close as I can get to the center without sitting for about an hour or so. So we're going to be coming outwards and we're going to be trying to go down a couple of different roads. We're starting off on a nice dual carriage way style road here, which we actually want to go into the right hand lane. So I'm going to use the feature, hopefully, and it will do it itself, which it is. It's doing it all itself, and it changed this lane really, really nicely. Again, we're coming up to some more traffic here, as expected in the city centre. And actually the sat-nav wants us to do a complete loop-de-loop and go back on ourselves, which is interesting. And I think actually we might do that. We might give that a go. So we're going to be coming down here and we're going to be going out all the way down to the M42. Now we're actually coming to a roundabout here, and the car would go across this by itself, but obviously I'm not going to let it to. But I know from seeing it happen before and maybe doing it before myself that it would have gone across there happily, but obviously we're not going to do that today. Okay, this is a nice road. This is more what I was expecting from a city centre. I don't come to cities very often, so I don't really know how the car's going to work in them, but this is quite nice. We've got a nice left line, a nice middle line, and even with very, very tight corners, oh wow, very, very, very tight. I have to take control there myself. That got incredibly tight, even for me. Okay, I'm gonna let it do this one. So it's not going over the line, it's still not going over the line. Yeah, okay, so if we dial it down to 20 around those kind of corners, it can do it. Whereas it was going 30, which was the speed limit, and it couldn't quite do the corner. But as you saw, the car in front did that corner at 30 without a problem, so it definitely can be done. Okay, we're gonna cruise down here at 25. We're coming into a 20 zone, so I'm gonna pull it back to 20. And we've got a little bit of a speed hump, which doesn't ever really make an issue for the car. Now this is gonna be interesting. So the left line is quite strong, but the middle one fades. So I'm expecting here for it to go a little bit wavy, but I'm hoping it doesn't. We've got a car just pulling out, and the Tesla did slam on at the end, and it is working its way around that car. And then we've got cars coming that we're gonna have to brake for here and stop. And my water bottle flies out of the cup holders. The cup holders here definitely need to be a little bit thinner. They're quite big, so you can't fit like a normal cup or a normal bottle down them. So we're in a 20 zone now, which again is nice for the car. It's nice and slow, so the car can go around tighter corners when it's slower, of course. And if we have any issues up this road, I would be very, very surprised. Now, one thing I have found as well from driving in the city a little bit on autopilot already is this. So the gap that the car leaves and the gap the car leaves when we're at a standstill. Now, people here seem to think that that is like me going, yes, you can cut me up or you can come in here. Whereas obviously it's not. And sometimes the car, bless it, has a little bit of a freak out when that happens. So hopefully, well, actually, hopefully it does happen in this video so I can show you, but it is kind of annoying when it does happen. These are some lovely houses here. I'm not sure what location of Birmingham this is. More green. This is stunning. I would happily live here. No, I wouldn't. The traffic's too much for me. But yeah, very, very nice houses. And I like the fact that it's a 20 actually. It just makes the whole community feel, I don't know, a little bit safer, I guess, a little bit nicer. Plus you get to look at the houses as you go by. I'm rubbernecking houses here. Got quite close to the left there. I think because of the grass, it was like pointed out. Yeah, look, whoa, okay. That was pretty much going into the grass there for me. So I wonder if it couldn't see the grass, or I don't know if it, because it wasn't like solid. Oh, I guess it is a solid, but you know what I mean. It's not like a wall. That's why it had a little bit of an issue with it. I'm not 100% sure. And now it's not wanting to turn autopilot back on. There we go. So this is still a 20. This does feel quite slow for a 20 down here, I must say. But we've got some nice bends and some nice corners coming, so it would be quite good for autopilot. You see, autopilot actually went left there and filled almost in with that lay-by a little bit. Oh my, this is very, very slow. I've got cars behind me, but I know I can't go. If I wasn't filming, oh, that car's close to our side. I know that if I wasn't filming, I would probably go a little bit faster here, but because I'm filming, I kind of can't. So again there, it was getting way too close to that left side and it just didn't follow what I was doing, so that I took control then, because otherwise we would have curbed it, and I don't want that to happen. Okay, here we go. Back onto what we came to Birmingham for, the autopilot test. So we're in a 30 now, and it's gonna sit at 25. I don't think there's much need to go faster than that here. The auto wipers are on, but as you can see, there we go. They're a little bit slow. We're actually braking now because of that Citroen, so I'm gonna have to take control. Yeah, I saw the Citroen, and I had to drive it around the Citroen itself. So again, there's no designated parking here on this road. It's just like you just park on the side of the road, and without that line, the Tesla Autopilot, no, it's not having it. It doesn't like it one bit. Now we've got an ambulance coming up. I don't know if it's going to make any difference to the car. It probably won't. Again, we're slamming on behind this Honda Jazz just because it's parked on the road and the car thinks it is on the road. And again, we've got more cars here on the road, so there's no point in me putting autopilot on. As we're coming out of Birmingham now, the roads are getting slightly better, or more preferable, shall I say, to autopilot. We're on kind of tighter roads, which means people can't park right on the side of the road and stop autopilot, and because we're coming out, there doesn't seem to be as much traffic, which is pretty good. But so far, there's not really been any cases that have worked for autopilot. There is no justification from today's video that says autopilot in a city is worth it, especially not Birmingham. It really didn't work in Birmingham. It worked better in Bristol, believe it or not, from the last video. Hopefully the other cities we enter sooner in this series are going to be a little bit better and work a little bit better, because currently if it's like this, the answer is no, autopilot can't do anything in a city. But these roads, it can do quite well. The one time I have found it useful is to sit in traffic and not quite worry as much as I normally would do, and it would just, you know, take you along in traffic. But I don't really plan to be sat in traffic for these videos, which is why I've decided to come out and do all this extra kind of driving. If anything, this video shows how far away we are from self-driving or autonomy being something we can actually do on our roads. Even here, I don't think it's the technology that we're lacking. I think, to be honest, it's the road network. Again, there, because the middle line disappeared, the car decided to jolt over to the other side of the road, which obviously isn't good at all. But now that it's seen the line again, it works fine. This is definitely saying something, though. It is definitely saying that it's not just Tesla or whichever other company that you're, got your self-driving car from. It's not just them that need to do something here. It's actually the network of roads that are just as important. But to be honest, these should kind of be sorted out anyway beforehand, and they shouldn't really be this bad. But as we're coming around this dual carriageway, it's actually working really nice. We've got quite a bit of rain coming down, which is sometimes making it hard to see the lines. And we've got this Mercedes coming in and out of our lane as he dodges cars that are parked on the dual carriageway. And it actually was doing pretty well for all of it, to be honest, so I'm pretty happy about that. We're going to take back control here, of course, for the roundabout. And we're going to be coming off left here. So now we're really exiting Birmingham. You can hopefully see in the map here where we are. We're really coming out of Birmingham now, and we're going to be heading down onto the M42 and then M40 down for my next video, which hopefully will be soon, and hopefully will showcase a little bit better autopilot. So here it's actually done all of that by itself. I know that was a giveaway, but there was no one to give way to, so I didn't have a problem. And it actually did it all itself, which is good. It went to go straight on there. It was going to go straight on because they'd actually patched up a bit of the road. Now that's something as well that I've noticed is a huge issue in our country. When they re-tarmac a road or they re-tarmac areas, they don't paint the lines back on them. And again, for an autonomous car or for an assisted car, whatever you want to call this, it's a real pain because it loses all tracking and it's just a nightmare. We've got a cyclist on the left here, which I'd hope the car would go slightly more right to evade, and it has done actually, and it went past it fine. That actually did that really well. So it went slightly further right, just like the Megane did in front of us, and then followed it through, which is quite good. The rain's starting to come down quite a bit harder now as well, making it even more difficult for autopilot. I have also found that we have a system in our country where when it decides to go from a single road like this to like 2 lanes to go left or right, it's just an abrupt bang. You know, there's no easement of this is to go left, this way is to go right. So hopefully something like that can be adopted as well, which I think would make a good difference for us. One feature we don't have here yet as well is the on-ramp and off-ramp. So if I did autopilot now, it actually wouldn't get onto the motorway, which is something that I've seen from a lot of videos of the car doing it successfully, which I'm surprised we still don't have yet in this country, but hopefully it will come soon. So I'm gonna get into the middle lane here and put on autopilot, and we're coming into a 50. So I'm just gonna bring this down to 55. And we're gonna follow this traffic for a little bit. We're only gonna do a little bit of this, maybe, you know, 5-10 minutes. But this is where autopilot obviously works best. And it really does work well on motorways. It really is nice and strong and stable. So I'm gonna go into the right-hand lane, one little indicator, and then I'm not doing any of this, of course. And it goes into that lane nicely without any problems. But again, this is a good test for it because we get so many cars on the road, and you know, people are very unpredictable on what they want to do here on the motorways. So it's good to see the car cope with things. But again, it looks like we're just gonna be sat in traffic. So what I'll do is I'll end the video here. You don't wanna see any more traffic. I'm gonna put some music on and try and zone out and forget that I'm in traffic, but that's gonna be hard to do. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, dislike if you didn't like the video, and comment down below any other areas you want me to come and visit. Maybe not a big city centre, but I mean, there's no bigger city except for London than Birmingham. So at least I gave it a go. Until next time, thank you for watching, and don't forget, drive safe.